Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is NonGone and today we're playing Death Stranding. This is the original PS4 version, the non-director's cut. We are playing on PS5 to reduce loading screens, but that's because we're doing a speed platinum run. We're trying to get all the trophies as quickly as possible. So this is all post-commentary. My run's already done. It was 45 hours and 43 minutes, which was enough to get the top time. But I'm not happy with it. I think you could probably do at least 15 hours better, maybe 20, maybe sub 20 for this. So anybody that's looking to improve on this, I'm doing the commentary a little different. What I'm doing is juxtaposing what I did with what I think you could do that would be better. So we're kind of skipping right through it. I'm skipping a lot of the traveling and a lot of the minutia there. In light of just trying to give you good theory and good step-by-step on what your next important point is. So this split starts at Mountain Knot City and ends at the Chiral Relay. It was an hour and 50 minutes in my practice run, and I think about that in my actual run. I can't remember if this includes the first prepper mission or not. So I did that mission in my practice run, and I thought I could get away with doing it post-game if I just went to the terminal instead. And that turned out to be wrong in my actual run. So I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and knock out the first prepper mission right away. It will pay dividends because you're going to be swinging around the craftsman and picking up deliveries. And those will be available for him if you've completed this mission before the end of the game. So let's go ahead and do that first, and then we'll come back to the main track of the game here. And I'll try to be as quick as possible. This takes about a half an hour to do, and I think you could probably do it quicker if you really practice it and you know what you're doing. Anyway, let's do first prepper. So first thing you got to know, when you get up there, you will have no resources. He's not on the network, and he won't be, so you got to pack everything right now. You're going to want your all-terrain skeleton. You're going to want to bring at least one container respray, one pair of boots, 2 bola guns or whatever non-lethal you use to knock out mules. There's going to be about 20 of them. And at least one PCC for a zip line. You can bring one for a generator, but I'm not even sure you're on the network, so I don't even think you can put it down during this mission. So it's really obnoxious. Basically, what you're going to do is zip line up to the peak behind the Mountaineer and hop on off. You were nice enough to put down a zip line at the Spiritualist and at the first prepper, so we just have to connect that to this, and that's right up there on the ridge off to the right. So just walk up there, and now you have a zip line all the way from the doctor through Mountain Knot all the way up to the first prepper. So good job on that. You'll be using it a lot. Go ahead and zip up to the first prepper. I like to walk down this little area. I've seen people put ladders right here too to get down there quicker, but I tend to fall off ladders. I don't know, probably I'm trying too hard. So once you get here, it's very important. Save your game and then change the difficulty to hard. This is another fetch quest, and we need 20 of them for a Great Deliverer, or Growth of a Legend. So this is a good chance to knock it out. Once you switch to hard, take on his delivery. You've got to go down to this mule camp, and I found the easiest, quickest way to do it is to just slide on down on foot. You can take a floating carrier. You can try and drive a vehicle up here. Either way, you got to come back up probably on foot, so it's fine. So just go ahead and glissade, and I'll meet you down there. And then once we get down here, we got to raid this camp. Now, because we want an S rank, we want to make sure we clear all the mules before we touch any cargo. We don't want them damaging it or knocking it off our back. And on hard difficulty, one ding will cost you your S rank, so you don't want to mess with it. So I suggest you go to the main building right here and bola gun or shoot all the mules that come at you. There'll be about, 15 of them, and then there's 6 or 7 in the outlying regions. And you can either wait or go out and get them. But once the alarm stops, then you can start picking up cargo. I would not pick up the cargo in the main camp until you're on your way back. But go ahead and grab this memory chip, which would be the 26th, while you're doing your fighting. So once everybody's knocked out, go ahead and steal their truck. You couldn't bring a vehicle, but you can borrow theirs. The first cargo you want to pick up is in a rock hidden post box up in the northeast corner of the yellow area. So go ahead and drive up there and grab it. Jump back in the truck and head directly south. The second post box also looks like a rock. It's on this like gray area to the directly east of the main camp. So go ahead and grab that. And then come right back to the main camp and raid that final post box, and you should be good. Once you get it, you got to walk back, and I've tried driving around the map and can't figure out a way to do it quicker. Just start legging it. Be relatively conservative with your battery for your all-terrain skeleton. I like to use it when I'm getting up to the top because, you know, we got stamina problems by this point. So your battery will not be used while your stamina will not be used while you're climbing with the all-terrain skeleton and you have L3 clicked. So do your best to make it up to the top. Again, memorize the route if you can. And when you finally make your delivery and get your S rank, you'll be done with that part of the first prepper. You'll be rewarded with 0 stars, and he's still not on the network. So yahoo. Trust me, though, it'll pay dividends in the end. All right, now that 5-minute interlude is out of the way, let's get back to the main part of the game here. So we're going to zip on back to Mountain Knot City. We're going to take our delivery. And this part is very heavy on practice. I suggest if you practice anything that you practice this segment right here. You're going to need to drive up through the mountains with a bomb on your back. You're going to need to place 10 zip lines in very specific places that matter 2 or 3 meters one way or the other. So you definitely want to practice, and you'll be doing it with low visibility. So this is the one. This is the one you want to practice your routes and get everything down so that you can pop on through it. The missions are actually pretty easy once you know what you're doing. So go ahead and drive. Head on out of Mountain Knot City with your body. And you're going to want to peel to the left here and go up this way behind these buildings. Once you get to this building right here, you can kind of go behind it and you see it rises up into the snow. You want to drive her off the back of that and drop down and head immediately left. And when you get up this little area here, when you get to the top, you'll notice you're in the right place because the chiral line keeps going back and forth. You will be able to look down over there and see Heartman's lab. Now, before you do that, his lab, you want to go ahead and stop and turn and look uphill. If you hit R1, you should see another memory chip. That will be number 27. Sorry I didn't get that one on the actual run here on the footage, but it's there. Get it. And then drive on down to Heartman's lab. Once you go to the terminal, you'll have to go inside his house. You'll have a bunch of cutscenes, and you'll have 3 minutes that are unskippable. You can look around and hit R3 to zoom in on various objects. That will award you likes by Heartman, and I think they do count. You'll also be docked likes for skipping his ramblings, but trust me, it's like 40 likes total, and it's worth it. You could do a whole delivery quicker than that. So go ahead and listen to all that. Look at all the things that you can look at. And then you will be prompted to go to the terminal, and you'll be picking up 2 deliveries. One for the geologist, one for the paleontologist. The paleontologist is the antimatter bomb. Once again, if you hit too many little rocks or one big rock, it's game over. And you're going to be driving in a rocky mountain area. So good luck. We're also going to be really obnoxious and do the geologist first. And even more obnoxious, we're going to set down some zip lines while we're doing it. So let's go ahead and do it. The first one you want to place, if it's not there already from an online friend, is going to be right outside of Heartman's place right here. So set that down and then head up to the right. And you want to go around to the left. And then again, it's very important that you memorize these places. You're going through a BT field. You can head left to the first one and then give the next one, the gold one, a wide berth to the right. And then if you stay far enough right, you should be able to slip by these last 2 without running into any trouble. Again, if they do try to grab you off your bike, you can hit L3 at the right time to boost. I don't know what the effects of that are going to be with the bomb on your back, but, you know, it's better than sliding all over the map with a bomb on your back. So at that point, you can kind of just drive right down this little area here, and the geologist will be up there on the left. If you park a little bit behind, you can avoid some rocks. So head on up there and make your delivery. So once you get your delivery done at the geologist, you want to place 3 zip lines in specific places, and you don't want to run around with that bomb. So just go ahead and set it on the ground in front of the building here. And then you want to put your first zip line right here on this rock, and then head over to the big skyscraper looking building, and your second zip line, you'll just go over there on foot. Don't take your bike. Your second zip line will be on the corner of that, so that you want to try to get it as far away from the geologist as you can so that it's looking down that slope. And then the third one will be as far down the slope. There's like a little kind of outcropping there. I like to put it right there overlooking the drop. Once you have those three, hop back on your zip line and zip back to the Geologist, pick up your bomb, and get back on your bike. Now, this is a tricky route. Again, use Distortion 2s for more specifics. I'll kind of cut. It takes 5 minutes at least to get there. So you kind of head left and work your way around here. When you get to the little spine right there, looks like a vertebrae, kind of go left around that and then hook back to the right. And you should be able to very carefully pick your way down those little shale edges down that way. It smooths out a bit and you just kind of head right and upslope a little bit, dodge the big rocks there. And once you reach the top, right before you get off the Chiral Relay, that would be where you would want to maybe make a save, because it gets real rocky through here. If you had a generator, this is where you'd charge your bike, obviously. And then keep heading south. When I get to just south of when I get out of the snow, I usually stop and just walk the last like 20 feet. Don't want to accidentally hit a rock and game over yourself and have to do that whole thing again. So go ahead and deliver to the Paleontologist, and you're done with the scary part of this split. The rest of it's a piece of cake. So the next thing the Paleontologist is going to do is have you do a very easy fetch quest. It's down in the VOG, the VOG, and it's a story mission, so you don't have to change your difficulty or anything, unless you're already playing on hard, and then, go for it. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Just run down there, equip your oxygen mask using the up directional pad, which is where all your clothes are, and then head down, pick up your 5, and climb on out. You can climb out the south end, or you can use any ladders or anchors that are there, or you can actually climb up the north end too. So grab those, make your delivery, and the next thing you'll be asked to do is get some things from the BT area and take them to the Evo Devo biologist. So we're moving right along. This is going to actually be a really short split. It helps when there's no memory chips to get, huh? So anyway, we're going to head on down, and we're going to go. So once you leave the Paleontologist, you're pretty empty. Go ahead and put another zip line right here. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your 5th one out of the 10. And you want to make sure that you can get off of it when you hit the circle button, so don't put it right on the cliff. You want to make sure you can see that little cliff edge over there, that little embankment. And that's where our next zip line is going to go. So go ahead and drive over there and climb up the cliff edge, and you should connect the one you just made with the one at the very top coming from the Geologist. Again, like I said, it's real close, like 298, 297. So make sure you're pretty precise and you know right where it's going to go. And then we're going to do our little job here. So I like to head up the snow to the left here. And when you come back down, you'll come out of there. I suggest you park your bike about halfway between the Evo Devo and the BT area. You're going to want to cause a void out on this one, and you're going to want it to stop raining and snowing, because your bike has got to be pretty close to wrecked by now. There's no, unless you found a safe house, sometimes they're down by the Paleontologist. You need that bike to go to the Chiral Relay, and so you want to make sure that it's in serviceable condition at this point. So park it right there, that way it won't deteriorate while you're running around doing other stuff, and then head back down the hill into the void out and go ahead and get caught. Once you run out of that area and it's clear, you can go ahead and pick up the cargo, which, by the way, you can do on this difficulty while you're running away from the catchers. You don't have to make it 2 separate things. You can grab them as you go. But eventually they'll leave you alone. You'll have all your stuff. Run on up to the Evo Devo and make that delivery, at which point you'll be asked to return to Heartman's. Now, we're going to set the rest of our zip lines on the way. So where I like to put my Evo Devo one is right up here on this little ridge. And then keep your bike down there. You need that for the other direction. And go ahead and walk up this slope right here until you get to the top. Now, you should be able to put a zip line down that connects the Evo Devo one to the one on the cliffside there. I was unable to do it. I missed it by a couple of steps, so I had this little jog that I had to make, and that's okay. We've got enough bandwidth, barely. We just don't want to do it a lot. But if you can work that out and prep a little better, then you'll be faster than me. Okay, so we've got everything set from the Evo Devo all the way up to the Geologist. Go ahead and ride your zip line back to that. And then from there, you want to see that little peak up at the top. You want to put a zip line at the very top of that. And you're going to need one more to connect this whole line up. So grab two, head on up there. And when you finish that one, you want to come right down to this side. There's a little outcropping there, and that should connect the one on the peak that you just laid with the very first one you put in the segment down at Heartman's. And you now have a zip line for the hardest area in the game. And you did it while you were doing story. So yay, very efficient. Good job. Once you go to Heartman's, go ahead and pick up your delivery. It's a lot of cargo, so you might want to swap out for a power skeleton, which you'll probably keep the rest of the game. Go ahead and grab a bola gun if you don't still have one equipped. And also, if your bike is short on battery, when you get down there, you might want to grab a generator as well. You're going to fast travel when you get down there, so all that stuff's going to go away, but you might need it for now. Go ahead and zip line all the way down to the Evo Devo and then run down to your bike and get on. Head south through the area that's recently voided out and stay to the left because you want to get one more memory chip, and it is in the mule camp on the left by the cliff. You can probably just bolo gun whoever you run into, maybe one or two people. Run in there quick, get in, get out, and memory chip number 28 is yours. We are halfway done, and we haven't even gone out of our way. Once that happens, head on out of the camp as quick as you can. Head to the right of the stream as soon as you're allowed, and then drive right down to the Chiral Relay. Make your delivery, and then look around for an online safe house. There should be one down here. If that's the case, it's very important that you take your bike. Go over there, go to the terminal, and store your vehicle using the garage function. You need it real bad coming back. So if there's one there, awesome. If not, you might have to walk. So just keep that in mind. Then pretty much this is almost over. Just walk over to where the BTs are and get caught. And then you'll have this little scene with the tar and all the buildings coming up. And you got just L1 will give you a compass. Just run over to Amelie. And you will wake up in Edge Knot City or in the western region, and you'll be finished with this split. Again, this was 1 hour and 50 minutes. The first two totaled 6:10, so we're up to 8 hours flat. Again, I cannot remember if I included the first prepper half hour in this split or the next one or the one before. But either way, it should be pretty easy to get through this whole thing in 10 hours, especially with some practice. So yeah, hopefully that's a little bit helpful. The final the next split is going to take us to the credits, and that'll be 10 hours flat. And I'll go ahead and do that next. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. In the meantime, stay bad, people. Non-gone is gone.